Oh, hello there. Why, it's not, another stream. One might say another surprise stream. I've been working on the modern team for FSharp.Formatting this week quite a lot, and I just wanted to crank out a little video about what's like the before and after situation. So the TLDR is that there's a template, a default template, which had old stuff in it, and I just wanted to have, like a new version of that with modern CSS, light and dark theme out of the box, some web components, etc. Yeah, just some good stuff. It looks a little bit like this, and then there's dark mode, and then it's easy to like customize with just updating some CSS variables on your end, and then you get like a little bit of custom flair to it. Yada yada. And yeah, the goal of this little short stream would be to update FSharp data, which currently looks like this. And yeah, I just wanted to go through the migration or update path. Just fairly painless, but just a little example. I created a branch. I have the based on the latest main. I'm looking in FSDocs what kind of properties they use. And let's just let's basically, so FSDocs tool is installed. You can see FSDocs over here. We'll basically just go FSDocs watch minus port. Let's give it some port number. Then let's just take these properties over here. The interesting ones are like strict, eval, and clean. Strict will make the tool crash if it can't handle the F# scripts. Eval will evaluate the scripts and then put results into the HTML. And clean, I guess, cleans up some of the cached properties. So right now it is looking towards everything that's found in DLLs from the project itself. So it actually does project cracking of the solution. It will try and find assemblies where it can generate documentation, reference documentation. It will also take a look at your default folder, which is the docs here, what kind of files are there. Some files will be processed. For example, over here, there's library. These FSX files will be transformed. These are like a mix between actual scripts that are invoked and some markdown and comments, and that all gets transformed to HTML. And that's all a lot of good stuff. And it is currently generating these all for the files. It's going to the library folder. It really parses and evaluates all these things. And then eventually, once it's done, it's going to create this kind of a layout on my local host with the port I gave it to. This isn't really happening in parallel, and yeah, well, this takes a while. This is one of the older parts of the tool, but it's very interesting that this is being used, because this actually references like binaries from your local disk. So if you change something in the code, then the documentation could fail based on the sample not being in sync anymore with your latest changes. So we have this on localhost 7009. This all looks good, and okay, that sucks, but we'll just, update the tool. Now I'll do .NET tool update FSDocs tool pre-release. It goes to version 20, so version 20 is the modern theme. I run the exact same thing. Probably could have dropped clean parts because the caching still be okay. And then yeah, this is going to be quite the bump from 15 to 20, but each change, or even if it's like a new FSharp compiler that's being used, it all immediately, very quickly gets like a major release. So don't, there might not be that much of a delta between 15 and 20, even though that may appear that way. It is again generating the models. Seems to be going maybe a little bit faster, although, yeah, truth be told, this should, on the one hand, happen in parallel, or not really happen at all, because all that's really happening right now is that all the files are being dumped to this temp folder, temp watch, and then you'll see, we're eventually going to have like the index HTML in there as well. So it's creating everything for the library. And okay, now it does this in like 2 phases. It generates the model, all the documentation, and then it's going to eventually write out everything, create the actual documents. The send itself isn't the best ideal approach, because do we really need all these files to exist on disk? That might be more of a nah, not really. So maybe in the future we can sort of update that. But lo and behold, the thing generated, and we have our new team. So the new team is basically just HTML and CSS. I just tried to create something a little bit nicer. I do kind of like this. This is like new. Like on this page, it will tell you what kind of sections are there. So it has a little table of content. Then these are just the various pages. And yeah, that's light and dark mode for you. There is a search. If we now look for HTTP, it's going to try and find various things. So this is the HTTP doc. So API references, all namespaces. This is really information that it gets from the DLLs and parsing, cracking, whatnot. And yeah, I mean, it's a little impossible to check all these pages if it all looks well. But if you do find something on some page, please let us know down here in the issue below. It's always good to like, hey, this isn't working as I expected. And it would be great if you could also just put a link to a published website where this is happening. That really is the most convenient way to sort of trace these problems. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. I mean, I've been working a lot on this, but just like to tell, there's just a little less about it. It's a little responsive, so you can see over here should be fitting on mobile, the mobile menu thing. So black and white. And yeah, I mean, there are like little issues like this if you go like 200 pixels, but one who has such a device, and two, this is API documentation. You're not really going to read that on your phone, are you? So yeah, if you do have things that you see, point out those that are problematic, and we'll sort of take it from there. Cool. Well, that's actually kind of it. So let's just call it a day and update the commit the update to the tool. Let's say update fs docs tool 2. And basically I feel like I'm at a stage where I'm comfortable starting shipping these things, because people are invited to play with this on their local host and machine, but if you're not using this tool actively, then you might we might not get the feedback from you. Like, you might not be our core audience. So it is best to just start shipping these things, and that's why I'm just gonna raise a pull request. Hi there. Been working on a new team for formatting. Ta-da. I would like to rolling out the latest alpha and gather some real world feedback. Other examples. So I've been also using this for the Inite SDK. And there's the Inite SDK, but then there's also Inite analyzers. So pretty much uses the same deal. Other examples. Oh yeah, and I also did like fs lex yak. Just this morning I sort of went ahead. I kind of have permissions to sort of publish these, and this just looks a little nicer. So let's include that as well. And then say thanks for considering this PR. Something on those lines. Yeah, close enough. So yeah, if you are using well, FSharp.Formatting as your tool, the modern team's really in a good place right now. I'm close to calling this like a beta and then eventually just call it stable because, well, why not? It has all the features that you expect it would have. I sort of update these things frequently because I'm working on it, and yeah, just if there are very problematic things, please let us know. Please play around with this, and yeah, having more nicer and then more like nice docs to this will just benefit the whole F# community, and yeah, also write docs kits really do. If you put something out there on your GitHub, if you are taking the length to publish this, if you want other people to use this, write a little bit of docs of how this works, and it really brings you so far. All right, that's all I got. I like this little stream format thing. It's just me rambling a little bit, showing off some of the things I've been working on, been excited about.